Hi guys, welcome back to Venteradventurers. On this week we're doing another motivational talk. Sorry I haven't been about a couple of weeks due to some stuff with family and personal life. Again, being a bit busy. So this is a new video. On this week we're going to look at something which the Greeks calls the impasse, or the point where you've reached the point of no return, the no-go point. Recently I've been sorting out an impasse myself. A life choice came up. I've made my decision and I'm going for it. That's broken down into a couple points which we're going to break down in this video. The 4 steps. Highlighting the decision, what you got to do with the decision, evaluating the options, and if the time requires, go for it. Those are the 4 steps. Obviously you can break them down into what you think and how you're doing it, but those are the 4 main decisions. Let's go into the first one. So first one, outlining. Outlining is a key stage of this. Without outlining your decision or your focal point where you need to make the break point, you will always not understand it. By doing so, you will figure out where you are, what you need to do, and how you get there. If you're not doing that right, you will always come a cropper. So in my decision, it was to stay or go. A life decision came up. I had to decide if I wanted to do it or not. I figured out what the point was, and right, okay, this is what I've got to do. And then I went positives and negatives of it. And that gave me the outline of my decision. Because without that, you won't know. This comes down into certain points of motivation. Don't fear it. Keep going. You can always get better. If you're scared about making a decision, you always fail. So, with that, you must come into the outline, because you need to know your problem before you can decide. Second point. Okay, second, evaluation. Evaluation is quite key to this. I know we've both briefed it on the outline, but this you need to do even more. This is where you go into a bit of self-thought, self-searching. You decide if this is what you want to do, and if so, how you're going to get there. So, with my decision, there was many different ideas. 1, did I have enough time to prepare for it? 2, what was I leaving behind? So what you want to do for your evaluation is take your positives and your negatives, but then also with those negatives, they're not negatives. They're something to overcome, or ideas, or doubt. You can always change doubt and ideas or negatives into positives. So just take an example what I just said about going away from everyone. I've turned it into a positive. Yeah, I'm going away, coming back as a better person, stronger, harder, better human being entirely, which is thoroughly for the best. There's no negatives in that. I'm doing this for me. So that's a good way to change, because what you don't want to do is have all these negatives build up on you and always be negatives, because you will never get there. As again, Jocko Willink says, good. Good you're going away, good. Good this has sprung on you, good. It means you can show what you've got. And that's what we've got to do. When life gets you hard, don't look at the negatives, evaluate and look at the positives. The key step is evaluating positives and negatives, and then turning those negatives into positives. And third point, what you're going to do about it. Alright, what you're going to do about it. Even before you've made your decision, you need to set out a plan. Set yourself a goal, set yourself smart targets, because in my case, for what my point in the road was, it was going to come at some point. So even if I said no now, it's going to come back. So what you want to do is have a goal, plan. As the military says, planning equals people performance. So what we don't want to do is not have a plan. There's all thought going balls to the wall and hitting hard and going for it. That comes into the plan, that comes afterwards. But what we need to do is have that plan before we can do that, to ensure we're not wasting energy. So with mine, I set a target. I knew I needed to get the fitness up and make sure I was mentally prepared. So how did I do that? I used some matter experts. It's not being weak or a coward to ask for help. So if you've got people out there who know what it's like for fitness, mental, use them all. Because without that, you're gonna fail. Strengthen your mind. So I knew going into this, what I'm going into, I was a bit weak-minded. So I used the resources of my friends and others to build that mind. I'm now focusing on the training. I've set myself a goal. I've set myself a goal of getting underneath a certain run time. So that's a SMART target. Set yourself a SMART target. Say you're in the row is, do I go to uni? Okay, what's your first goal? Right, I need to get the grades to have my choice of unis. No need to panic, because then if you choose something else, you've still got the backup plan. That's a goal, that's a target, and that's your decision. Because there's no point worrying about something if you haven't started making your plans for it, or making go for it. Have a backup plan. Have one for if it's you're gonna do it, and one you're not gonna do it. Because then when you get to the final stage, it's so much easier, because you can literally look at the facts. But there's one key thing with this planning: be logical. Be harsh and be logical, because at the end of the day, the feelings and the passion come in when you make your decision. The last thing you do is make your decision, and then obviously the steps afterwards. That's when you bring in the feelings and the heart, not now. Okay, final and afters, decision time. Final one, decision time. This is step 5, and arguably the hardest. You've now evaluated, you've outlined, evaluated, made a plan. So this is go time. This is time you've been preparing for. You now need to go or stay. I advise you to go if you can. This is where your heart needs to come in, because I guarantee you, if it's something like I have, if you don't make the decision, it will haunt you forever. You need to focus. You need to make everything you've got to do this decision. Because if you don't, you're going to sink. Think of yourself in a Greek play. If you don't do it, you lose. You're the hero. So fight, go for it, work hard. So if you don't, you'll always fail. And you'll always look back at this without them. But that's not where it ends. Once the decision's made, work on it. Don't let it become the problem. Always work, never let it down. Always work with it. Always keep going. Don't matter. Find stuff that helps. But remember, you made that decision. So if you can blame anyone, blame yourself. Self-masochism, basically. But if you want it, you'll work for it. Okay? So if I've helped anyone, perfect. If not, let us know how we can change. I've been Michael. Keep venting.